echoes of Sedona. We understand that some of the information that was delivered in the transmission in Sedona has caused quite a stir in your reality. To some degree, this was the intention, to stir the pot. But allow us to explain a little bit more clearly. First of all, there was a lot of speculation about why what was said was said. We will assure all of you that it came from us. It did not come from the channel. For those who would know the channel, you would know that the channel never would have said what we said, especially not in public. The idea is to understand that what was said was a response to a question that was asked about the energies associated with the choices you had before you. And the idea to pay attention to is the reactions that occurred. A couple of which were when the announcement was made, when the information was delivered, several people were surprised in a variety of ways, and some took it upon themselves to think, well, Bashar must be wrong. Or, Bashar has gone off the rails. Or, oh, the channel must be interfering with Bashar's message somehow. This cannot be Bashar. It is fascinating to note that for all the time that many people have been absorbing and receiving information from us on a variety of subjects, that as soon, no matter how long that's been, as soon as they have heard something that seems contrary to what they believe, suddenly the immediate reaction or assumption is that something must be wrong with the delivery, something must be interfering with the delivery, instead of a more balanced reaction of, well, that's interesting. I wonder why that was said that way. Or is it possible that this may mean something other than what I think? Or even, in your vernacular, as you say often, God forbid, I might actually be wrong in my beliefs. The idea is, of course, you can believe what you want. It is up to you. We are just observing the reactions and the idea that it gives us and the information that it gives us with regard to how ready people are for contact, how ready people are to be in a balanced state rather than thrown off balance. The idea also is that the information was simply an observation. Remember, we are not giving you an opinion. We are telling you what we see. When we answer a question, we are looking at the information embedded within the structure of space-time and simply reporting what it is we observe. As with anything, the information that we receive is of the moment and in the present, and as we have said, not a prediction, but simply a recognition of where the energy is at that moment it is delivered. Again, not an opinion, but an observation. Again, many may disagree with this observation, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what is embedded in the fabric of space-time. Also, the idea of delivering the information in that way, unusual as it was, we will admit, was the product of conferring with many other beings to make sure that the information was appropriate to deliver at that time. And again, for a variety of reasons. One of which was to accelerate the splitting of the prism that is going on in your reality, because several of the reactions to the information we delivered caused an acceleration in moving in whatever direction you had chosen to move. In other words, the statement ensured that the train tracks leaving the station would get farther apart, to accelerate the idea of the splitting and to bring about the idea of the evolution of humanity in a particular way, so that contact could occur in whatever way it needs to. The idea of saying that the feminine would lead to contact could have been said just that simply. The feminine would lead to contact. Or we could have said the feminine would lead to contact, the male would not, instead of the full delivery of what we had said. However, that wouldn't have been absolutely accurate. Both directions, in some way, shape, or form, will lead to contact. But it is the nature of that contact, the style of the contact, and the reason for the contact that will change according to which direction all of you decided to choose. We will be conferring, based on the outcome you have chosen, with many councils in our interstellar alliance, in order to determine what is now the most appropriate way for contact to occur. It will have shifted a little bit based on your choices, but it will occur. It is, in fact, at this point in your timelines, inevitable. We have said that it will occur within the next 5 of your years. This may still hold true. The idea is that there still can be a major event sometime in your late 2026, early 2027, that will begin this process. Again, not necessarily saying exactly the nature of this event or the causation of it. But like anything in creation, you will experience it in whatever way you have created your reality to be based on, whether out of love or out of fear. Not saying that the contact itself will in any way, shape, or form be fearful, but that the style of the contact may take its cue from whatever energy exists at the time in which it occurs. This will be the reason for much consultation, discussion, conferencing among us, so that we may determine the absolute correct timing, the absolute nature and style of the contact that will serve humanity best. But I do, in fact, repeat, it will be for the benefit and service of humanity, no matter how it is brought about, no matter what style it may appear in, no matter what course it may need to take, based on conditions that exist at the moment we determine that the timing of contact is appropriate. We encourage all of you to remain in a positive state, no matter what your belief system. And we will again reiterate that the idea of what we said is based not on necessarily actual physical individuals, but the idea of the qualities of feminine energy and masculine energy as they exist on your planet at this time. To take stock of either energy and to understand the importance and value of balancing that energy within you, so that the style of contact can be one that would be more completely representative of the idea of acceptance, of love, connection, and not necessarily of experiences that have to do with fear or disconnection or negativity in any way. Again, it will be for the service of humanity in the style in which it occurs. But we will, at the same time, remind you that we always have a reason for saying what is said, for delivering the information that is allowed to be delivered. There is always a purpose to it, even though you may not always be privy to that purpose. There are many things going on behind the scenes on your planet, some positive, some negative. Allow yourselves, without dissolving into conspiracy theories, as we have outlined in step 1 of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment, but allow yourselves to understand there are many things going on behind the scenes. You have or are about to enter a new age on your planet, a new age of ideas of control, ideas of power, ideas of oversight, ideas that may bring about what appears to be a relatively peaceful world, though it may not necessarily be for the reasons that you think. Until such time as contact occurs to illuminate what is actually going on your planet behind the scenes, and to bring about a new understanding that will, at that moment, allow humanity to truly decide what direction it wishes to go in, how it wishes to evolve in the future, and how it can finally give up the illusion of power and focus on the power of the illusion. There are many things that are occurring and many ways in which we will communicate this idea in upcoming transmissions, revealing a bit more each time, and also more of how you can, in your own energy, remain in a balanced and positive state. For do remember, as we have always said, it's not about what happens as much as it is about what you do with what happens that determines how you experience your reality. There are some who will, in the upcoming times, in the upcoming days, weeks, months, find that what they thought was true is not so much. So we encourage everyone to remain in a balanced state, no matter what you believed to be true before, for there will be a new truth, a new understanding when contact occurs that will be revealed to you to allow you to open your eyes and see clearly, for the first time in a long time, how you have arrived at where you have arrived and where you can go from here should you decide to choose the path that is offered to you from your galactic family. All of this is said with the deepest love and appreciation and gratitude, and a reminder that Earth is a tough school. But despite all of that, it is a play that you are acting out on a stage, and regardless of who you may label a hero or a villain, remember that you are all actors, and that once the play is over and you allow yourself to come from your soul center, you all recognize that you all simply chose to play a part that would allow for certain challenges to be faced and changes to be made that would thrust you into the future in a positive evolutionary path that will benefit all of humanity one way or another. And that the divisiveness that you now experience will become the very grounded foundation of the unity that you will create in the near future, in the days and years to come. So watch your definitions and understand that, just like the actors in a play, no matter who is playing the hero, no matter who is playing the villain in anyone's eyes, when the play is done, all the actors will get together, give up those identities, and truly settle down to share a meal as colleagues, as friends, as family. Unity is inevitable, but only through the validation of the differences in positive ways will that occur. We will remind you of this over and over again. And the ultimate reminder will be when we are face to face with you in the near future, at the time of contact, which is now, depending on style and regardless of style, inevitable. For you have crossed a threshold, you have tipped the scales, and it is on the horizon. We thank you for allowing us to share this clarification with you. Please take it in the spirit in which it is intended, and understand again, we always have a purpose and a reason for the information we deliver to all of you, though you may not always be privy to that reason right away. A lot of this is a test. A lot of this is a measure. A lot of this is to let us know what you are ready for and what you are not. For again, there are only very few circumstances in which we will intervene. But should those circumstances arise, we will be among you to make sure, first and foremost, that the unique school that is the earth will survive. For that is our priority.
From my life, like I've never existed, and she moved on really quickly with someone else after 1 month, and all of this make me feel like I'm pretty much useless to her. And my question is, why do I still, 6 months later, allow her to make me feel like that? Because I know I'm not, and my son demonstrated to me every day, my friends do the same, so I know I'm not, but I just don't understand why I still allow her to make me feel like that. This is my question. Thank you.
She doesn't make you feel like that, you make yourself feel like that. So her actions are pointing out to you that you're the one diminishing yourself. You're the one believing in your lack of worth. So she's giving you an opportunity to overcome that challenge, to know that you are worthy because you are getting signs that you are. It's giving you the opportunity to choose which ones you really want to pay attention to, which ones you want to believe are true. So you are still in doubt about your worth, which is why you keep wondering why you keep reacting the way that you're reacting and why you feel the way you feel about the fact that she is giving you this opportunity. So this is an agreement you have made to overcome your lack of self-worth, and know that you deserve to know that you are worthy as the signs are being given to you by others in your life. Choose the path you really prefer and let go of the path that you don't.
Greetings, Bashar. How are you?
Good day. Perfect. And you?
Oh, I'm perfect as always. Yeah, this has been pretty synchronistic. My Wi-Fi went out as soon as my Zoom started, and that was a fantastic synchronicity, and it's a great practice of just letting go of any insistence of any outcome and staying in a positive state.
Yes, and then being able to tap into the information you need in other ways, like
exactly. Exactly. It's like if this conversation happened in this way, that would have been fantastic. And if it didn't, it would have served me just as it was in that way.
A good lesson in the idea we have already mentioned in this transmission, that it's not about what happens, it's about what you do with what happens that makes the difference in your reality. Yeah. So, amen. Well done.
Amen. So I was in Sedona for your transmission back in September. And I know, a lot of people were taken back from the political statements that you made. So was I, but I didn't stay in a negative space. I quickly neutralized my beliefs and my feelings regarding those statements and went back to what you had just mentioned, that it's what we do that matters. It's the actions that we take. Anything outside of ourselves, it doesn't matter. And this has been such a fantastic opportunity for me to really hold true to my beliefs and not give in to any of these external circumstances. Because,
all right,
fast forward to the present time, we have a male candidate that is our, presidential leader again. And we all know what you had said regarding that. And it has really allowed me to address a lot of fears within myself and to transform those fears. So it has really just been a fantastic blessing, this whole situation.
All right. And we would like to address one more issue.
Go ahead.
Based on the surprise reactions that people had about the fact that we said anything at all regarding your politics, which is unusual for us. But the point is, it's not going to be that unusual in the future. Because as contact occurs, do you not think we're going to become more involved in every aspect of your society, including your politics? So the idea of conferring with our councils and the idea that we were allowed to even make anything close to what your people would perceive as a political statement is an indication of how close you are to contact in some form or another. Because we are going to be involved in every layer of your society, including your politics, your sociology, your economics, your religions. Everything will shift. Everything will change. Our presence isn't going to leave any aspect of your society untouched. So we want you to understand how everything in some way, shape, or form will shift, but it will shift in a way that will allow you, all of you, to process what you need, to face the challenges that you need in a way that will serve humanity evolutionarily to the benefit of humanity for your forward momentum into the future. So realize when you are asking for contact, it doesn't mean we're going to remain aloof or separate from you in terms of the things that happen on your planet. We're going to be involved in every aspect of your society in many different ways, technologically, sociologically, politically, religiously, spiritually, really, economically, everything. So that's what contact really means. The fact that we could address something even similar to a political comment shows you how close you're getting to having our involvement on your planet.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you for those words. And I like to bring up another event that occurred to me when I was in Sedona.
Yes.
And so I had just gotten to Sedona a few days before the event, and I met my mother, who now lives in Sedona, at Bell Rock, and it was around 9 o'clock at night, so the stars were out, and we went for a short hike to get into the beautiful energy of Bell Rock. And it was just so amazing to be there. And just the thoughts that were coming to my mind where, I know contact is going to happen and is already happening. However, I don't need to put the insistence that contact does need to happen in order to feel fulfilled, in order to be happy, because I put so much emphasis on it over the past years, and so much pressure on myself to make all this happen. But ultimately, it's like that in itself is still a condition. It's still.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not that you need contact, and in fact, not needing it is what actually allows it to happen more quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I was explaining this to my mom, and I really felt it within my heart, and it was so beautiful. And so we later went on back to the parking lot from Bell Rock. And as we were just about to get to the parking lot, I decided to stop and just take in the moment one last time, because it was that beautiful. I just wanted to soak every second of it in. And as I did that, I saw just the most amazing shooting star go from one end of the sky to another end of the sky. And that was just, my confirmation that I'm on the right track, another synchronicity. My question for you was that a shooting star, or was that possibly a ship that I had saw?
No, it was a shooting star, but the synchronicity is what's important for you. And you took it in the way that you needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, the fact that it was a shooting star even makes it not that much more beautiful, but it was just perfect the way it was. So, yes. Okay. So one last question. I've had a few gray owl encounters, and I know others have as well. What is the connection between the grays and the owls?
Well, they simply use owls to project the idea of a masked image, so that if it is really not an owl, it is simply something that you're familiar with that energetically represents them, but is a projected telepathic memory, so that you won't necessarily see them as they are, but see something that you are somewhat familiar with, that you don't necessarily freak out about, but you understand there may be something unusual about it. It's called a screen memory.
Okay. Why owls though? Why not another bird or another animal?
Well, they have very large eyes. Like the grays.
Okay.
There are other animals that have been reported in those screen memories, like deer and some such animals along those lines. But owls, again, as you say, gray owls, well, gray, large eyes, and wisdom. Owls are wise in your archetype, yes?
They are.
All right. And they are, in the night, because of their wing structure, very silent. They are suddenly upon you before you know it, because you don't hear them coming. So all of those qualities and attributes do fit the grays as well.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, I appreciate your time, and thank everybody, physical and non-physical, is here participating in these interactions. All my love to you.
Our unconditional love to you as well. Avail. Good day.
Iliabe, thank you.
Hello. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to Darryl and Bashar for all that they do for us. I have a question I'd like to ask Bashar, please. I understand from his teachings that when we are awake in the physical reality that we know, we are actually asleep because we are still in spirit and we have never left spirit. If that's how we perceive things, where are our spirit guides? When we are actually asleep and dreaming and back in spirit, are we able to communicate with them then? but then when we awaken back into the dream state here, do we forget them? So I hope that makes sense. So basically, when we're asleep back in the spirit world, are we able to communicate with our spirit guides there, or are they in another dimension completely? I hope you can help me with that question. Thank you.
Yes, they're in the spirit dimension. Therefore, it's sort of like diving into the ocean and then getting back up on the boat. The people helping you are on the boat. You talk with them when you're on the boat, and then you decide to dive back into the water where now they're up on the boat and you're in the water and you can't really communicate. But then you go back up on the boat and you can talk to them again. So this is similar to what happens with your spirit guides. You focus on your physical experience, you withdraw within yourself. Now, a portion of your consciousness as the soul is still there and still communicating with them, but as the physical being, you don't necessarily perceive all of that. But when you go to sleep, when you relax and go back into the connection of your spirit self, then yes, you're having communication. Sometimes you may remember them as dreams, or you may not remember them at all. Depends on how it serves a purpose to remember it, or how you remember it. But yes, that's basically what's happening. You focus down into physical reality. You want to focus on your physical life. You don't want to be interfered with. You want to be left to your own devices. The guides up on the boat will guide you subtly through synchronicity and a few other kinds of methodologies. And you can communicate with them freely when you're back up on the boat, but they leave you mostly to your own devices, just guiding you gently when you're under the water, when you're back in physical reality. That's just the way it works. It's the way you want it to work. Good day, good day, good day.
Good day, Bashar.
What would you like to discuss?
Well, I'd like to thank you, my deep appreciation to you for this interaction. And I would like to start with discussing step 5, volunteering of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment.
Yes?
I joined something called a threshold choir, which is a small choir of people who sing for people who are transitioning into spirit.
All right.
Hospice patients. And I was wondering, from a harmonic perspective, could you tell me how music helps to unlock people from physical reality?
Well, it can contain harmonics that are representative of the higher frequencies of the spirit realm, and therefore get them familiar by imbuing them with those frequencies, by bathing them in those frequencies, get them used to the vibrations that are representative of the higher spiritual realm and make the transition easier for them.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like lubricating the path.
Mm-hmm.
Putting them in a calm state that allows the transition to be smoother by bathing them in the harmonics of where they're going.
Oh, interesting. You recently described how our birthing process will evolve, and that we're going to be like in a dream state, and then we'll come out of that and there will be a baby there. That's simplified.
Yes, but that's many, many years down the road.
Yes, and I was just wondering, could you similarly describe the dying process, how that will evolve?
Again, far in the future, as you know time to exist, it will simply be that you will step out of, quote unquote, the body. You will expand yourself back to the soul level, the astral level, and the soul spirit level. The body eventually will no longer even be left. It will simply disappear back into energy in the way that it was formed.
Okay. Is there any transitional phase before that that we're heading
yes,
towards?
again, it will be that the body will still be in your physical reality, but there will be no infirmity, there will be no illness. You will simply decide to leave. You will simply step out of it.
Okay. I was also wondering if you were surprised by the election results.
No, not at all.
Okay. I just have one more question. Now with step 6, the CE5s.
Yes.
Do you have any? It's getting colder here. I've been doing some here, but it's getting colder here. And I was wondering if you have any suggestions for other types of group gatherings that where we can make ET contact, maybe indoors or in an environment.
Do you think that being inside a building would in any way, shape, or form be an inhibition for extraterrestrial contact?
Well, how would we see them if we were inside, really? I mean, we just look out the window?
You can either look out a window or you can allow certain phenomenon to appear inside the building, like spheres,
Okay.
energy
Okay.
spheres.
That's a good idea. All
So,
right.
no,
Okay.
you don't have to be outside to experience contact. Invite them in.
Okay. That's a great idea. I'll just use my creative imagination to come up with something.
All right. Many people see orbs inside buildings, and some of those are representative of ET contact. Some of them are representative of spirit contact. So it's absolutely no impediment at all to have a building around you for an orb to go right through the ceiling or right through the wall. Remember, they're not in the same phase that you are. That's not going to stop them.
Yes, I appreciate that point of view because I don't think most of us were used to doing it through CE5 outdoors, and it's not as common to have indoor ET contact gatherings.
Yes. All right. But again, it's not going to stop it from happening.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just happen differently. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate this time we spent together today, and I love you.
All right. As do we appreciate it and our unconditional love to you as well. Good day.
Good day.
time after the transmissions we have delivered for the past 40 years of your time, we now begin a new chapter, having reached the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. This new chapter will entail a different approach to the delivery of information that we provide for you, all falling under the banner of Countdown to Contact, Year 1 for this, your year of 2024. We will say Happy New Year to you all, and thus we will begin another part of the journey together, if you wish. For this year, each subsequent transmission will be titled Countdown to Contact Year 1, Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment. For the first month, next month, it will be Step 1. This Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment, Step 1, and the subsequent steps in the following months that will be delivered intermittently will be all about providing you with exercises and actions that you can take that will align you more clearly with the vibrational frequency of the Interstellar Alliance as preparation for the idea of open contact. These steps, this social experiment, will involve your willingness to take certain actions that we will describe that will be challenging for some of you to apply into your society. This doesn't mean that you have to do what we will suggest, but if you are willing to take the steps that we will outline, it will bring you into closer vibrational connection with the idea of open contact and the idea of the frequency of the Interstellar Alliance. In this particular transmission, we are simply preparing you to take these steps by announcing them and letting you know that we will be providing this information in the next transmission and the subsequent upcoming transmissions thereafter. Each of these steps will be a challenging introduction, a challenging series of actions for you to take in your society that in many cases may be asking you to go beyond what are typical bounds in your society, to reveal yourselves as aligned with the idea of an interstellar alliance. Again, none of you have to do this, but your willingness to do so will make you more aligned with the interstellar alliance, and the probability will increase of open contact for you. We understand that this can be challenging in your society, for many of the suggestions will be contrary to what you are used to doing. None of them will be breaking your laws, but they will allow you to take a stand. They will allow you to be bolder in your outward expression of your alignment, and they will each get more and more challenging relative to the norms of your society. But this is important now in this new cycle, this countdown to contact, year 1, for you to step up the game, as you say, and in your language, walk the talk, as you say, that will allow you bit by bit, step by step, to interject into your society the idea, the notion, and the consciousness of the existence of the interstellar alliance, and how you, in your willingness to follow these suggestions, will allow yourselves to become essentially a citizen of the interstellar alliance over time, over all the steps that we will suggest. Again, you have free will. There is nothing that forces you to take any of the actions we will suggest, but we will again tell you that should you be willing to do so, it will align your frequency more and more with the experience of open contact, and even more specifically with the vibration of the interstellar alliance, making it more and more probable on your planet for awareness to open up to our existence, the existence of other dimensions, by allowing yourselves to take the actions we will suggest that can, over time, begin to create a movement that will transform your society into one more capable of experiencing interaction with extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, and spiritual beings of all kinds. So we will begin this cycle in this transmission with this announcement, which begins the preparation so that you have a month to prepare yourselves to decide whether or not you are going to be willing to take these actions as we deliver them intermittently from month to month. And again, the first transmission of these steps will be titled The Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment Step 1, all under the banner of Countdown to Contact Year 1 in your year of 2024. This will all accelerate in the subsequent years thereafter for 3 years, and thus leading up to the probability of a contact event that can change many things upon your planet. So this transmission is simply to announce and alert you to the upcoming changes, to the new cycle of delivery of information. Much of the information we have delivered in previous transmissions will now focus in on your understanding of the formula, how metaphysics actually functions, along with the suggested actions that will be coming in the subsequent upcoming months, and altogether your understanding deepening of metaphysical concepts and the actions you will take if you are willing to follow our suggestions will again increase the probability of contact for your world globally, depending on how far you are willing to go. And again, once again, I stress, you do not have to take these actions. It is up to you and your free will. For some of them may be too challenging for some of you, may take you too far outside your society, and therefore you may not be willing to necessarily partake of these actions and these suggestions initially. But I do guarantee that if you are willing to do so, the vibrational frequency of your alignment to the interstellar alliance and the probability of contact will increase geometrically. So it is up to you, as always, with your free will. As we begin this new cycle of information, as this new cycle of actions begins to unfold, we invite you to ponder deeply all we have said before, taking into account all that you have learned, all that you have been willing to apply in your lives, with regard to the formula and your understanding of metaphysics and spirituality that we have shared with all of you, and to streamline it now in this new cycle to make it a daily understanding, a daily application, a daily usage in every situation and circumstance in your life, to truly accelerate you into this new cycle, beginning now with this year of 2024. In return for the gift you are giving us in allowing us to share this with you and the subsequent actions that are to come, I ask, in what way may we continue to be of service to you? Please begin with your questions and dialogues if you wish.
I have my own production house creating my own movie. But what about other people who also play a part in my movie? Do I have a say as to how they react, behave, or interact with me? Or all these are still their own decisions at the soul level? Meaning that their world and my world actually share the same storyline or separate. For example, can a man actually create a reality in which his ex-wife actually moves back and falls in love with him all over again, while his ex-wife in her world, in her movie, she has actually moved on and married someone else? How separate or overlapped are these different worlds?
It can happen that way, although again it depends upon how it serves a purpose in that life path to experience those things. The idea is that you make agreements with others, agree to different kinds of storylines, as you say, but you still experience your version of those stories in your reality. By agreement, others will seem to share the same reality, even though they are in their own reality, perceiving their versions of you as you are perceiving your versions of them. So you are creating your versions of them, and it will be based on your belief systems about what you need from them, which can be either slightly or very different from what they may perceive in their reality of their version of you. It just depends on how closely aligned the different versions have agreed to be in terms of what you experience with each other in creating those representations of each other in your own realities. But again, sometimes it can diverge quite readily, quite far, and sometimes it will stay very closely aligned, depending upon the agreement you have made and what purpose it serves to either remain aligned or misaligned. Good day, good day.
Ha'ata Bashar.
Ha'atu.
Ha'atu. Wow. I feel great. It's a great day.
All right.
I feel like we have had a conversation before, maybe telepathically. I was standing out in my yard and I had just listened to some of your stuff, and yeah, I could feel something. I don't know if it was that me making it up in my head with my
It is your higher mind, and also in combination with us, because we have many conversations with people on the non-physical realm before we have them in the physical realm. But the idea is that it always involves your higher mind to gain practice for you in understanding that your higher mind can answer all the things we have been answering for all of you for all this time as well.
Cool. I do want to ask some specific questions. One, I'll just start off with one of them is about I'm a farmer. I work with the land, and I heard you talk about the Lyrians, and I just want to, I guess, talk more about like water, plants, animals, the energy of those things, and my relationship with them, and how I can evolve those. Like I know water bending is a thing. There's a lot of things that I've seen in movies like superheroes can do, and I just get chills when I see those things. So I feel like they're possible?
All of them happen in spirit. All of them can happen in spirit. Some of them can be brought into the physical realm if you allow yourself to see the physical realm as an extension of spirit more strongly. Not all of them are relevant for your particular life path, but certainly by allowing yourself to understand yourself as an extension and an expression of nature, as nature, rather than being in nature, then you can blend more fully with the idea of the consciousness of nature in all its forms, plant and animal, and elements, and allow yourself more efficacy with the communication with those particular forms of consciousness as well. Being a farmer, in a sense, you have a head start on this because you understand how to work with the land. Allowing yourself to understand everything that's physical as being an extension and an expression of spirit can also help you accelerate your ability to receive and send communications to all the elements we have mentioned.
Cool. And does that include the Sasquatch or other
all things in nature? All things in nature.
So are the Sasquatch aware of me?
They can be. They are aware of many humans individually, especially those that work the land. So peripherally, they can be aware of you, though it may not be extensive.
What is a way to sort of invite them, I guess, or
Go into the forests where it has been said they inhabit, where it has been said they visit, and allow yourself to begin the cryptic meditations that Willa has delivered to all of you in the past. Sitting with your back to a tree, near a source of water, listening to the water, and extending your mind deep underground into the root system and the mycelial network of the tree, and beginning to blend with the communication between the trees in that way, can also connect you to many forms of nature, including the elementals and including the idea of Sasquatch. Begin those kinds of meditations on the cryptic journey, and it can improve your ability to perceive and receive communication from many different kinds of beings that exist that many people on your planet don't even know about.
Cool. And teleportation, is that possible with my physical body, or do I need some sort of ship?
No, you do not need a ship. You have to understand that you're already teleporting all the time. That's how you move. You jump from moment to moment. You teleport from moment to moment. It's just that you do it so smoothly and so quickly, you don't even know you're doing it. So getting a deeper understanding of the fact that you're already doing it, because every moment you shift to a different reality, literally a different universe, you are teleporting constantly. Even to have the experience of a movement like this requires teleportation through billions of different parallel universes. So if you understand more deeply that you're already teleporting, you can increase your vibration to be able to perceive the rate at which you are already teleporting to create the sensation of movement, which is an illusion. And therefore, by increasing your frequency, you can match the frequency more readily of how you are shifting from reality to reality and perceive that you are always teleporting. And in doing that, you can learn to teleport in different ways that are more perceivable by those around you. But again, it depends on whether this is relevant for your life path.
Cool. And I've heard you say before that when the earth changes, it's not the earth changing, it's me shifting into different versions of earth.
As I just explained again.
Yeah. So what is my desire to regenerate the earth, to regenerate the land, if it's me shifting into something different.
The desire is to be a living example of the state of being and the actions that go along with that state of being that allow others to see in you how they can also choose to shift to versions of Earth that are more reflective of what they prefer.
Cool. And one of my last questions here, I want to get a little bit more specific about my personal myself. Um, I know that I also listen to Abraham Hicks, so I know that in my vortex, there's this all around me is this pure, massive well-being, and I know that there are some thoughts that may be foreign beliefs that resist me allowing who I am to flow, and those thoughts are what I want to get at so that I can, I guess,
All right.
identify them.
Well, the easiest way to do that is ask yourself how it serves you to hold on to them, because you don't hold on to anything that you don't believe serves you. So you have to look for the structure and the nature of what the belief is telling you and realize that you may have a belief that is causing you to be afraid to move forward because the belief is telling you that if you do let go, something worse will happen. So you have to find out what that belief is saying to you to see that it's nonsensical and not a fact. It's just a story.
And is that something that you're able to see in me? Or how do you
I can only tell you how to allow yourself to discover it. Because again, this goes to the motivational mechanism. Listen carefully. You hold on to anything you believe serves you, even if it's a negative thing, because you believe the alternative would be worse. So you'll hold on to even something negative if you believe it's the safer alternative. So you have to find out what you're afraid might happen if you move forward in the direction you say you prefer, but find that you're not moving forward in that direction. It can only be because you have a belief that says moving forward in that direction would be worse than staying put, no matter how negative staying put actually would be. So you have to discover within yourself what you're afraid of might happen if you move forward.
Okay. And when I live in Hawaii, is there
Yes.
anything here, maybe around my location, that
What island are you on?
say that again?
What island are you on?
Maui.
All right. You understand that Haleakala is the heart chakra of the world, yes?
Yes.
The heart vortex. Allowing yourself to meditate in the understanding will open up your heart and open up communication to many different forms of elemental being.
Cool.
Does that serve you?
Yes. Um, what about my last question is about you. Um,
Yes.
do you have human friends? Do you ever hang out on Earth?
I have not
Do you
set
wanna be
foot
friends?
upon your planet at this time. My ship is in your atmosphere, but I have not set foot upon your planet at this time. We consider all humans potentially to be our friends if they are willing to be so.
Well, I am, and it'd be cool to hang out. Um,
There may come a time when that is possible physically. For now, it is not yet the time.
okay. And my last question that comes up is about dragons.
Dragons are a projection of a certain interdimensional form of consciousness that is interpreted in your reality as the form of a dragon. That's not how they look in their own reality, but it is an expression of ancient wisdom and great power that takes that form because that's the form that your physical reality best interprets those interdimensional forms of consciousness.
Cool. Okay. So the
Thank
moho.
you. You said that was your last question.
Yes. Thank
Then
you.
we thank you for your interaction, our unconditional love to you. Aveo.